Anybody you may be seeing down the road in the playoffs. So those non-playoff people, when I did it, they were at the end of the minute line, and I upped everybody else's minutes.
All right, Vince Carter and Michael Jordan, a couple of Tar Heel alums. Vince was not well received when he was introduced to the crowd moments ago, even with the announcement prefacing the name Vince Carter that he had given up his starting slot.
I'm not sure everybody was ready to hear that little bit that they threw in there all of a sudden after his name. Then the people recognize now that it will be Michael starting in place of Vince Carter.
And Marv, I think Vince Carter shouldn't have been compelled or pressured. I think if he wanted to do it, he should have. But I don't think anyone should feel the obligation not to play and get given credit for what he did.
Jeff, did you concern about upsetting any player that might come back to hurt you later on? Did that carry?
The officials of Jim Clark, Ted Burnham were just about set.
Mark, I don't care what Michael wanted. This is how it should be. Michael Jordan should be starting the last All-Star appearance in his career.
Michael, who will celebrate his 40th birthday in 8 days on February the 17th, in his 15th and final NBA season. Tim Duncan, Duncan stepped in, but Yao Ming will go against Ben Wallace of the Detroit Pistons, and it's controlled by the West. Indiana and Michael Jordan of the Washington Wizards. O'Neal rebounded by Wallace, who leads the NBA in that department. And the crowd getting into it as Jordan shoots over Yao Ming.
Yao probably never, ever thought he'd be matched up one-on-one against Michael Jordan in an All-Star game.
Yao Ming switching to your victory in coaching the sophomores over the rookies. Yesterday, Jeff, as you know, he has been just impossible with that come from behind. Well, here's Jordan for three. Michael has missed on his first two shot attempts. Iverson. Wallace through the double. Here's Jordan. Jordan again. And Michael 0 for 5 here at the start. Yao lost it. Jordan on the loose ball. Crowd wants him to fire, and he does.
And Wallace makes a good decision not to go where all the red jerseys are. He finds Michael, who seems to have a wide open lefty layup, and then the follow-up misses both. The frustration right now. And then you talk about skills. How about Tim Duncan? And there's Ben Wallace just missing the finish.
Garnett run into by Jordan. Michael looking puzzled about that.
What's the hardest thing? It's playing your own guys. Isaiah Thomas' first sub was Brad Miller. A good move by him for his own team and his own player.
And Michael Jordan is 0 for 7 from the field. Jamie Foxx trying to get into the end.
Someone they have to deal with. Then you talk about Michael Jordan finally scoring the basketball. And then Brad Miller, who's had an incredible year.
The East coming from behind to tie the West at 16.
After going 0 for 7, Michael
whatever that word is.
Think after fair, okay?
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, bizarre. Oh, Jordan missed the stuff. Michael missed his first 7 shots, and he's now 1 of 9 from the field, looking to go at Shaq, and he does. And the ball's knocked out of bounds by O'Neal.
Michael said to Shaq, "You come out here and guard me," and Shaq did. So Shaq went out and played him aggressively on defense. We see Michael right there missing the dunk, but Shaq played him pretty well. Then when it went off his foot, Michael said, "Okay, come and do it again."
Now Sean Marion of the Phoenix Suns, who just came out, is guarding Jordan. Michael hits the jumper, and he just said, "About time."
Well, he was in.
Michael Jordan now will sit down. And here's the applause. Paul Pierce checks back in. This is not what Michael had in mind, though.
Well, Michael, all weekend your teammates have been trying to give up their starting spot. You politely have said thanks, but no thanks. What changed you at the last minute and did Vince Carter surprise you?
That's exactly what happened. Vince surprised me. I mean, I told him, as I told the rest of the players, I mean, I started 13 times. I didn't need to start the 14th time, and, they were adamant about getting me to start. And, Vince actually came to me right before we went out He said he would love it for me to take his spot, and you know, I mean, he was very respectful. You know, I think he took some undue punishment, you know, all during the week, you know, about him being very honorable to the fans, and you know, even at the end when he gave it up, I mean, I really didn't want him to back down from what he actually stood for, and I supported him in that sense, but. You know, he wanted me to take the spot, and I thought it was very gracious of him, very respectful.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Mark.
Conspiracy theory that has gone awry.
The old conspiracy theory popping up.
And as both of them have said, look, this far along.
And Bryant gets it back. Garnett.
Oh, my goodness, a bounce pass. A bounce pass from Kobe. That led to a dunk by Kevin Garnett. Like Mashburn, who knocks it down for you in the end.
That's what makes the NBA special. Good offense against very good defense. That's what makes it compelling.
You know why the game has settled back down again? Because Michael Jordan's on the floor is one of the reasons. Kobe Bryant for the other team. Both of those guys bring a sense of order to the game.
And Jordan just turned it over.
Means that much to him.
And it has been a frustrating start for Michael Jordan. And this is 13th and final All-Star game. Beautiful lob here, Payton to Garnett. In the first half, Galvin throws the lob for Shaquille O'Neal. And here comes Jordan with Garnett back. Michael Jordan with his...
Moments ago, Michael Jordan with the rest of the All-Stars
officially passed the torch.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you know what's amazing for me? This is like the end for me. I was blessed to play against Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan.
And Michael was in the starting lineup and had his difficulties.
He did. He missed some makeable shots. Obviously, it's his last go-around. He wants to perform well. I think he'll perform much better in the second half.
Czar, I thought that was a very good point that you made. But the microphone, unfortunately, is not working. And getting ready for the second half, let's go over to Craig Sager.
Well, before the game, the East teammates said that they wanted Michael Jordan to be the MVP. As you mentioned, Marge, just 2 for 10. I talked to Jason Kidd. Kidd said it still can happen. Michael right now has 246 career All-Star points. He's only 5 behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. If he gets 6 points in the second half, he'll become the all-time leading scorer in All-Star game history. And if the East wins, Jason says his teammates think that will be enough for him to get the MVP. The big thing is for them to win the game first.
We mentioned Vince Carter stepping aside. Now, a couple of weeks back, Tracy McGrady and Allen Iverson made the offer to Michael Jordan. And Michael said that Doug Collins graciously stepped aside and gave his starting spot on the East squad to John Happ.
Remaining a championship contender and, as Jason said, knocked down the third and still...
Michael Jordan is back on the floor.
Against double teams, creating open shots for all late.
Here's Jordan, rejected by O'Neal. And you can hear the reaction from the crowd. They were not happy. Foul is called on Duncan.
Just a few points away of taking over the all-time leadership. It looks like he's going to be able to get 2 of them right here, but Shaq goes up as a very good passer.
Jermaine O'Neal has tied the game at 76. Michael is now 3 for 13 from the field. And that was the first block shot by the West.
Well, not to change direction, but as you look at some of the footwear on the players tonight, they remind me of some of the cars that you see with the metallic finishes.
Right there. Just getting back to the game. Bryant with the pass to O'Neal. And the West up. That's the 12th lead change in his third quarter.
You like me talking about metallic finishes, I can tell.
Tracy McGrady.
Maybe showing respect to Michael Jordan that he wore the Carolina Blues tonight. That could be it. Inside, the power. He wants to tear that one down right there. And as he runs back down, Kobe sticks out his hand to give him a 5. Shaq ignores. He says to his teammates, not right now, just leave me alone.
Michael Jordan able to hit the fadeaway over Gary Payton. So Jordan with 8 points. Finally, Jermaine O'Neal able to get to the ball. Here's Jordan hit on the reach in by Peyton. So Michael Jordan within 2 points of taking over the top spot.
The younger players, you saw it out there. They love him. He shows them how to compete, and he shows them how intensively you have to work hard. He's been great for us.
Hey, congratulations on a great weekend once again.
You know, thank you. And Michael's like, he's the Cheryl Miller of the NBA.
You know, I tell that to everybody. Marv?
That is high praise. And Michael Jordan with his 10 points, so he has now passed by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and he is the all-time all-star scorer. Yes, the Blazers have won 9 of the last 10, 4 in a row. Another one of the elder statesmen in the NBA. Incidentally, guys, Danny Ainge still sulking after the loss to Kenny Smith in their shootout yesterday.
He took a beating yesterday. Kenny Smith.
While Mashburn is back on the floor, Allen Iverson in the backcourt, along with Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, Brad Miller, Jamal Mashburn up front. Michael is now 4 of 15 from the field. Shaquille O'Neal handling and putting between the legs, putting moves on Brad Miller. Shaq had been waiting all night for that. Jordan changed his mind. Behind the back maneuver.
A little isolation here, through the legs, trying to show him he's got some tricks. Brad Miller gets a little laugh at him until Shaq starts coming at him.
Halftime presentation. It was great. You know, got real emotional out there, but you know, Mariah, she did a great job of what she was doing up there. Looked good in that dress, and you know, everybody applauded her, man. There's a lot of respect for that guy right there. A lot of respect.
9 of 13 from the field, and 17 of the 25 in the third quarter. And back comes Jordan. The lead for O'Neal. Nicely done. Jordan. Shot has been off. O'Neal. Iverson. Yes.
Eastern Conference team realize that they have to take advantage of every opportunity they can in transition so that they can get some easy scores, easy look at the Miller.
Thanks a lot, Marv. 13 seasons in the league, 9 times appeared in the All-Star game. Gary Payton, the glove, legendary board skills. Gary, what happened in the skills?
Chinese television, as we showed you earlier. Here's Jordan. Yes. Coming up on 5 minutes remaining in the fourth, and the East with a 112-104 lead. Michael Jordan now 6 of 18, 14 points. Foul is on Bryant, that's his third.
So Michael is actually having fun right now. He really is. He wants to hold on to this lead. He wants to win the game with the Eastern Conference, and he's playing very, very hard right now. This player just tried to knock it out of there instead tipped it to the wrong team.
Jason Kidd. And here's Michael Jordan. 16 for Jordan.
He's got much.
Just under 4 minutes remaining in this fourth quarter. Kobe Bryant tried to extend, could not hit. This is the biggest lead of the night. Here's Jordan with the change of pace. And rejected by Bryant. Jordan.
And you know Kobe took great pleasure in that because of Michael stealing the ball from him from behind before.
The West won last year in Philadelphia. Overall, the East with 32 victories. They dominated the West with 19. Here's Jordan with a flip that goes home. The squad, Michael Jordan with 18 points.
Excellent passing, catching.
This is the play now where Kobe Bryant finally gets a little revenge. Michael fakes him out, but Kobe comes right back from behind and blocks it with the left hand. And then Michael getting a much bigger player to get up in the air, step on it, switch hands, go to the left, and the floater in for Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, who played in his fourth game with a half minute remaining of the fourth. The East up by 1. Crowd would like to see Michael Jordan take it at Shawn Marion. And he does. But he was blocked. That's shot deflected. And the West with an opportunity to take the lead. Kobe hit on a reach-in with 10.1 remaining in this fourth quarter.
Michael tried to run the shot clock down as far as possible, but he saw the seam right there, decides to try and step through. The problem is there's too many red jerseys around there. Michael maybe could get the foul call. Instead tries to get it back at the other end and fall on the reach-in.
And with the East over the limit, Bryant shooting two. And misses on the first. Kobe at 83% free throw shooter. 10 and 1/10 seconds remaining. Bryant has tied the game. Kobe was 0 for 2 at the line before he connected.
So now if you're Isaiah Thomas going into this timeout, who are you going to draw up that last shot for?
Well, if you're being sentimental, you're going to Jordan. If you want to win it, go to McGrady.
At 1:20. Just for the record, there have been 5 overtime games played in All-Star competition. Utah, the West, defeating the East 130. And Jason Kidd will inbound. Jordan, guarded by Marion, checking the clock. Jordan with 4, 3. Not over the hook. Duncan with the rebound. And we go to overtime.
Well, Isaiah certainly gave him the opportunity to be the star at the end of the night. The ball was up on the rim. Michael got a look. He had a tall, active defender on him, which made Michael fade away. Ball would have liked to, but they clear the side of the floor. Sean Marion, no slouch at the defensive end, challenges Michael Jordan. As he fades, you see Marion go right up there with the hand on the front of the rim, but rolls off.
The West with an 8-0 run to send it to OT. Here's Jordan with a flip. Goes home. Now the crowd responds. Michael Jordan with 18 points.
Thank you for your support. Now I can go home and feel at peace with the game of basketball. Thank you very much.
Halftime by Michael Jordan. And this crowd would have liked, or most of this crowd would have liked to have seen Michael conclude it dramatically. But he was not able to do it, and we're headed to overtime as we hit the 11 o'clock hour. The high point man, Kevin Garnett, with 26 points, and Tracy McGrady leading the East with 25. Allen Iverson has 22.
And it's interesting, Jordan starting overtime on the bench, finishes in traffic at his side.
And here's Michael Jordan checking back in, replacing Ben Wallace. So Isaiah Thomas is going with a 3-guard set. He has Iverson in overtime. They have the full 24 and get it inbound. Francis being played by Iverson. The West with the ball down by 1.
He takes a foul on Shaq right away.
And they do.
Michael tried to take it. That's what he's pointing at. He tried to take it while he was on
the act.
And I'm not sure that's a bad foul, though. Betting on percentages, he's shooting 60 this year.
The East.
A little icing going on right now here. Strategy at its finest.
Isaiah Thomas, head coach of the Indiana Pacers, 34-15, tied with New Jersey for best record in the East. This is his first time as an All-Star coach, as a player. Well, we're down to 10 seconds remaining in overtime, and Michael has the ball. Guarded by Sean Marion. The fadeaway. With 4 and 8 seconds remaining. The West takes a timeout. Michael Jordan, not able to hit the game winner at the end of regulation, has just given the East a 2-point lead.
Marvin, as you see, Michael takes the fadeaway again over the outstretched arm of Sean Marion. And just hits an incredible shot right there. Again, we see it. Marion gets up into him. He's going to force him to take a tough shot. The fade, think about the strength you need to get that up. That was his 26th field goal attempt tonight. It takes a lot of energy to get this type of shot up and in.
And at the end of regulation, the West failed to call timeout so they could advance and take a last shot on Jordan. But here they inbounded the ball.
for 26. 20 points in his 36 minutes. Bill Russell, among many former All-Stars in the crowd. There's a 13-time All-Star. 3 seconds to go in overtime.
To the official, then continued on. He realized what had happened.
You know, there was a problem with the clock. It stopped momentarily. However, now 3 seconds. Only 1 second left. And he has tied the game. At 1:38, the East will take a timeout. So much for that Michael Jordan possible game winner. Made the transition from a decent All-Star game to a classic with 1 second remaining in overtime. It will be out. And Jason Kidd looking for the catch and shoot right here. He finds Jordan, and the shot this time is blocked by Marion. And for the first time in NBA All-Star history, we go to double overtime.
Well, Sean Marion knew he didn't have to worry about a fake by Michael Jordan. There wasn't enough time once you caught it, so as soon as Michael elevated, he was going up after it.
We'll continue.
Finally, what is your message for Michael tonight on a night when everybody was thinking about MJ's final appearance here?
Finally be ball-headed.
Ladies and gentlemen, the MVP of the All-Star Game, Kevin Garnett. Back to you, Mark.
MVP was Kevin Garnett, but the night belonged to Michael Jordan. Getting congratulations now from Kobe Bryant, who made the free throws and sent it into the double overtime. He scored more points than anybody in All-Star Game history. Talk about the one at the end of overtime that appeared to be the game winner.
Well, I mean, it was a tough shot. They played good defense. I was able to get to my right side and, get off a shot, high arcing shot, and it went in. Thought it was a game winner, but obviously, anything can happen in the NBA game, and that's exactly what happened. Kobe made a couple of free throws. He could have easily made 3 in a row to end the game, but we had a chance to go into overtime, and they had more energy than we did down the stretch.
Did you say anything to Jermaine O'Neal for fouling him on the three-point attempt?
No, I just couldn't believe the referee made that. No, obviously we were just trying to play hard defense, and those things happen.
How will you remember this All-Star game?
Double overtime, we lost. It was fun. I think I got the chance to enjoy some good young company tonight, and as David Stern said, the NBA is still moving upward, and you can see by the young talent that's playing here, and a lot of talent that's not here. The game's going to be fun to watch for some time, and I look forward to just sitting back and watching and say, I was a part of that group. I was one of those guys who passed it down to those guys, and that's truly a privilege.
As with your teammates, your opponents, the fans, and our television audience, it's a pleasure and honor for all of us to be here for your final one.
Thank you very much.
All right, for Michael Jordan in his final All-Star appearance, he concludes as the all-time scoring leader in the history of All-Star play. Again, the final score in a wild one, double overtime. The West, 155, the East, 145. Stay with us for Cartoon Network's Adult Swim All-Star Extravaganza. Special programming designed for Bizarre. Those of you on the West Coast will see Martin Lawrence in Life. All-Star Weekend has been presented by TNC Sports, the home of the NBA playoffs, and exclusive coverage of the 2003 Western Conference Finals.